5:33 p.m. Hawaii time. Today is important because I want to walk you guys through something which is the next step, and that's actually crafting bills. One of the things we have to do is actually turn a conceptual idea like prohibiting loot boxes to people who are under 21 into actual legal language which can be applied effectively. We're bringing in Sean Quinlan, Representative Sean Quinlan, who has taken a lot of interest in this issue and has been involved. And we're going to talk with some of our bill drafters to actually figure out how we can turn this into legal language. I'm not an attorney myself. A lot of legislators aren't. I'll write the law from time to time and certainly review legislative language in each bill, dozens of times before it ever gets voted on. But we use our legion of attorneys here at the state capitol to give us a first draft and a first pass of language. Yeah, I think there were two bills we really wanted to give you guys to draft today. Okay. You want to hit the first one?
We'd like to prohibit the sale of video games that have gambling mechanisms in them to minors, to anyone under the age of 21. So if you were to buy a $200 sword in a video game, but you knew that you were getting that sword, that would not fall under the definition.
Correct.
But if you were going to spend $200 to buy a percentage chance to get a sword...
Damn, that's an expensive sword.
Yeah.
That thing better, that's like plus 100.
If people pay
but the
500...
thing is, you know what you're buying into, and that's probably what people are thinking of.
We've had so many other legislators from other states reaching out over the last couple days. I think the traction this has been getting in the news and the efforts people have been making to bring this up in community discussions has been really getting attention politically. And so we want to be able to respond to those requests from states all around the country and pass those legislators legal language that would give them a starting point to address this in their own states. Yeah. The thing is, on the I'll follow up on the disclosure piece too, because there was a state rep from Missouri who was asking about that particular component, and maybe we can trade language or something, but there's got to be something there.
And as far as a digital distribution, do you think we can write the law in such a way that it's not just in-store purchases, but also digital networks like Steam?
The concern is that, and this is apparently what happened, and this is third hand, so I got to verify this, but you can go in, and once the algorithm identifies a player who's likely to keep spending money to buy that one unicorn thing that they're after,
right, then their chances get lowered. That's
right.
I did read that.
Then they lower the odds, and then you keep spending more. It's absolutely unethical and unfair. So how do we ensure that that doesn't happen too? And I think that's where this accountability piece really comes in. All right, there's a lot going on in the office right now, so we're going to borrow our press briefing room because it's not being used. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up next. The most obvious thing is prohibiting the sale of games with predatory game mechanics to those under 21. That's something that I think everybody should be able to agree on, and that might be enough, because if you're taking away that share of the market from the gaming industry, they might actually change games across the board for the better. We don't need to change the laws in every state. We just need to keep the conversation going, to keep pressure up, and ultimately get enough attention to this issue so that maybe the laws in a couple states change, but that's enough to compel the industry to build games that meet those laws, stop exploiting folks who might have gambling addictions and others, and actually create better games. So I want to ask for your help. It'll take 5 minutes of your time. What we need to do is reach out to community leaders and elected officials to keep this conversation going. As an elected official, I can tell you all of us get hundreds, if not thousands, of regular emails and phone calls about every issue under the sun. So we need to step up the conversation on this issue and make sure it's brought to their attention. I've linked below a template that is a brief summary. It's a little over a page of what this issue is about, what the concerns are that are being raised, and that'll help educate them so they know what they should and should not do in order to keep pressure on the gaming industry. And what we're asking you to do is take that template, add in maybe a link to a news story about this so that there's additional perspective and credibility, and fire that off to your own state representatives and state senators and elected leaders at all levels. Thank you guys for staying engaged and staying involved. Change will only happen if we do this together and keep the pressure on. So there's a lot more to come, but until then, stick around.